Hello, everybody. I'm Kristen.
And I'm Rachel.
And this is So I'm Watching Outlander, Season 1, Episode 13, The Watch.
These fucking guys, bro.
This is honestly not my favorite episode.
No, I agree with you. It just seems very filler.
Yeah.
And it's like, we talk about how Claire might not be able to have babies.
Yeah.
And it's just a bunch of these fucking assholes just taking everything from Lallybrock and just being a bunch of dicks.
So they suck.
So eloquently put.
The Watch sucks. The one of them is Macquarie. He's like the main one.
Mm-hmm.
And they basically provide them protection from the British, essentially. And so, but Jamie gets pissed and he's like, what the hell, man? Like paying one devil like to keep you from another. And they're like, well, it works. So
yeah, I mean, I feel like you can't fault them because, I mean, if it's not them doing it, it's the Redcoats coming in and taking all of your stuff.
And they're meaner about it.
Yeah. And so I almost would rather if my own countrymen were like coming in and taking my stuff, it wouldn't hurt as much.
But then the issue in this episode is that they also then bring Horrocks in. Because they managed to cover with the Watch and be like, this is my cousin Jamie. This is like Jenny's
McTavish.
Like McTavish.
Yeah.
So we're back to McTavish again. And it's just sort of like, it's all going good until Horrocks shows up and then he tries to blackmail him. It goes bonkers. Ian comes in the clutch like he always does and stabs him right through the heart.
I know. Literally, when we were sitting there watching it, and I told Kristen, I was like, every time this man comes on screen, I'm like, can someone just stab this asshole?
Him.
Just get rid of him. No one likes him.
Yeah.
He is the bane of everyone's existence, just right through the gullet. And thank you, Ian.
Yeah, Ian manages to walk softly enough with one fake leg that he can sneak up on this, like, scoundrel of a man and stab him through the chest. It's awesome.
Maybe, because Jamie talks about him being super drunk, so maybe he is kind of hammered.
Maybe
and
he's
like
just drunk. Yeah, sure.
Who knows?
Regardless, we dispatch that pretty quickly. But then the problem is that the Watch is a man short for this raid that they're going on in order to like steal a bunch of stuff from, I forget what family. It doesn't really matter. We don't meet any of them, so it's whatever. But they're going on a raid to do something else. And so essentially Jamie's like, yeah, I'll go. And then Ian is like, well, I'm going too if you're going. So it doesn't really matter. And so they both go. And then it is clearly an ambush. They like get to a point where they like, there's no exits. And Jamie's like, well, shit, we need to leave. And so then we're just back at the farmhouse with Claire and Jenny for a while. Jenny has her baby. There's a lot of talk. That's the part of this episode that I really like is the Jenny and Claire stuff. Because they're finally on the same page about stuff. They're finally like friendly. It's like nice. I love it. I love the kinship between them. Claire is very, curious about the pregnancy and stuff. And she's there acting as like a nurse because the midwife is gone. I love it. I love those scenes when Jenny is like explaining stuff. Although you're right. She does get a little graphic when she's explaining what it's like when you're pregnant.
I have two brothers. And at no point would I have conversations with their significant others and be like, when your man comes inside you really hard? No.
Nope, definitely not.
It would be, and I mean, I'm blunt,
Yeah.
And again, there is a level of delicacy that I would speak about with those ladies. Yeah. Because I don't want to picture that happening.
Sure, you don't want to imagine your brothers doing something like that. So for me, it's not, there's nothing like that because I don't have brothers. And so I would like, but I mean, also Jenny has brothers, Claire's an only child, but it's just sort of like, why are we, I feel like there's got to be a different way to explain it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Regardless,
it's still a sweet moment because they're bonding and it's nice. And I do really like that. And I like that, the whole time Claire's like, or Jenny is like, I'm just going to die. Like, I'm dying. It's fine.
I mean, I kind of feel like you'd have to have that type of attitude giving birth in the 1740, 40, whatever. 40s. And I mean, especially figuring out that your baby is breached. It's like, well, my insides are just going to come out with it. So RIP to me, I guess.
So now let me ask you something. Wasn't there in the book, I feel like there was a scene like a conversation that they have where Jenny specifically mentions it, where she's like, maybe it's something else. There's definitely something that I've read where it's like someone's talking about how they think they're going to die in childbirth. And one of the other people is freaked out. And someone's like, don't worry. They always think they're going to die. But you just like, it's fine. I don't remember what that is. I thought it was weirdly in this that Jenny was like, it's like normal.
I mean, that feels familiar,
right?
Coming from Jenny.
But I don't know.
I don't know either.
I think my favorite one, and I don't remember if it's in, it might be in the next episode when they're like off together. But there was a conversation in the book with them that I do remember specifically where she says at one point, it actually might be way later. It might be in like the second or third book. But she's like, whenever you have the baby and because she thinks it's a boy the whole time and it turns out to be a girl. And she has a conversation with Claire about how when the baby's born, you have to mourn for the baby that you thought it would be.
That's the next episode.
Yep. We'll get there because I fucking love that conversation. So, yeah, basically the baby, she has the baby, everything turns out fine, although it does feel like she's in labor for like 4 days, which sounds just atrocious.
Yeah, and one of the watch guards was like, your wife sounds like she's giving birth to a harpsichord. And then the other guy was like yelling up at them and like, women, quit your squelching. And it's like, fuck you, I'm being ripped in half. yeah, I mean, no bueno, my guy. No. Shut up.
Also, you're here eating our food.
Exactly. I'm sorry. I'm giving birth to a human while you're drinking my whiskey and eating my fucking food and setting my hay on fire.
Oh, yeah. That's fucking awful. So, basically then Ian and I think it's Crenshaw are the ones that come back. They've taken Ian's leg as well. So Crenshaw's like helped him back the whole way. But everyone else is dead or captured. They killed everyone except for I think they left McQuarrie alive and they took Jamie because they realized who he was, I think. And that's sort of where we leave the episode. It's not a densely packed episode, but there's like a lot of nice moments.
Yeah, I agree. But
then the watch just sucks. It's nice that they are all dead immediately.
Yeah, that's very satisfying, especially that one with the red hair. They don't have his picture on IMDb, but sorry to that man, but
no, it's no good.
You have a very punchable face, sir.
Also, he's like purposefully sets the hay on fire.
Fucking worse. I mean, throws his legs up on the table immediately.
And it also, given what Jamie is like asking while he's tending to the horses, it appears that they're not treating their horses properly either.
No, I think it's just to make them look like the most abhorrent people possible.
Bad guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, Claire is basically, I mean, we don't know it yet, but you can pretty much tell she's going to go after Jamie.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Oh, and we do have that scene between Claire and Jamie where Claire tells Jamie that she thinks that she might not be able to have children.
Yeah, and honestly, his answer's pretty good. His, like, response where he's like, no, it's probably for the best because I honestly don't think I could stand seeing you in the amount of pain that Jenny's going through right now.
Yeah, and you can kind of see it on his face, though, especially because when they hug, we see his face, and you could tell that he's still processing. Which is fair.
There's a deal of disappointment. She's disappointed because she tried to have babies with Frank, to which I said, well, Frank is an inbred Englishman. Yeah. And Jamie's fine.
It's not meant to be. So sometimes our bodies just know, and they're like, you know what? This is not a hospitable environment for your seeds, so we're just going to see you right out.
Go away.
See you later.
Out. So yeah, I don't love this episode, but it's like certain episodes of tons of shows where it's like I kind of hate the episode, but there's moments in it that I'm like, oh, but I have to have that moment. So yeah, I do like it, but any final thoughts?
I'm just excited to keep going, and I'm just really happy that we're doing this.
Yay,
I love this show so much. I love this story so much, and it just, no matter how many times I've read the books or seen the show, I fall right back into it. I'm so stressed about their life because it's like, man, a life of adventure seems like such a great idea, but it just keeps coming and coming and coming.
Not this kind of, this is too much adventure.
Yeah,
so much
adventure.
Just
have a day, like you come back, it's immediately rent day and you're fighting with your sister and all kinds of crazy stuff is happening. The Redcoats come with the mill, and then you think you can take a breath, and the next thing you know, you got the watch trying to shoot you in your own house, and
then you get taken by the Redcoats anyway.
Yeah, just
while you're trying to do simple crimes with your buddies.
Yeah, how that man is not completely gray already, I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't either. It is a lot.
I've just had simple inconveniences my whole life, and just gray.
There's just a little frosting.
Yeah,
But yeah, so we will go and watch episode 14, and then we will be right back. Bye.
Bye.